Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you're well from whenever you're watching this channel. Many a times, IMF has been blamed to be the reason why most countries are overtaxed. There are countries that, are always taking loans from IMF, World Bank. Those countries, most of the time, they are overtaxed. So it's for that reason that you saw many youths go to the street. Youths went to the street because they believed this IMF had okayed the finance bill. Now, the fact that IMF had okayed the finance bill or the budget of Kenya, it meant IMF was behind the scene trying to push the government into taxing more. So there is a story here that Ruto spoke to IMF chief after withdrawing finance bill. Now, this is available in the Nation public portal that says, President William Ruto spoke by phone with International Monetary Fund chief Kristalina Georgieva days after he withdrew finance bill 2024 in response to deadly nationwide protests against tax hikes. So from the cabinet meeting that took place, and it has been highly publicized, the first meeting after the rejection of the finance bill, there is a circular here. There's a message here that came from the Treasury Department, and this is what he said. We have agreed that we are going to implement austerity measures and budget cuts to balance the shortfall occasioned by the withdrawal of the finance bill. So that is the message. I want us to delve deep into this issue of IMF because IMF has been equally blamed, but IMF sometimes finances projects in different countries. So that is what we know. But we also know, according to sources, that IMF has a tendency of financing, or rather World Bank has a tendency of financing ghost projects. I believe you know about that. So like this video. It's so important if you like this video. I'm so grateful for everyone who has been liking our video, and I don't take that for granted. Subscribe to this channel if you're not subscribed before, and to existing subscribers, thank you so much for your support.
Kenya has been chosen as the pilot country for implementation of this new world order, and the globalists are fully in charge of our country. All these bills that are being implemented in Parliament are fully sponsored and spearheaded by these globalist organizations such as the IMF, the World Bank, and the World Economic Forum. Now, let us discuss about the Ministry of Health in this country. Under the New World Order, their key objective is to ensure that they depopulate the world, that their main target is to depopulate the world from a population of 8 billion to a maximum of 500 million to 1 billion by the year 2030. That is why we are seeing so many implementations in our health ministry that really do not make sense. Number one, as Kenyans, we have to understand that the biggest enemy we have today and is being implemented and no one is discussing is the conversion of NHIF to the so-called SHIF or SHA. When you look at this scheme, number one, they're saying they will be charging 2.7% of the income of employed and non-employed people. They are very clear, and they're saying even for those who are not employed, they are going to have what you call a self-testing tool, that is AI, to determine how much you're going to pay. The other program that will be rolled out under SHIF is physical verification and investigations on people's households to determine how much the government will charge you to pay. So that means every item in your house, every property you own will be calculated to determine how much you're supposed to pay this. The bigger globalist agenda I mentioned earlier is to take or dispossess individuals, their properties, that is household, land, motor vehicle, and all assets should be transferred from individuals to the globalist organizations. But these organizations are very smart, and they're using policies in this country where they put in puppets they can control, and they bring in the policies to be implemented, and this will become a law. Near future, for those people who will fail or not be able to be remitting these amounts, they fail to even lose their property. Number two, there is this issue of vaccination. Our Minister of Health, Madam Susan Nakumicha, in January, joined and became a board member in the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum is the biggest organization spearheading this one world government agenda in the whole world. Susan Nakumicha has been championing the vaccination of our kids in schools, in churches, and all over the country for the last 3 to 4 months. I started complaining about this issue of vaccination because today scientists are coming out, including the scientists from the World Health Organization who are in charge of the health. They are openly saying that indeed it is true. This vaccination, specifically the tetanus vaccination and the HPV vaccination, have long-term effects to the children. Let us not forget that in the early 90s and in the 2014 and 15, the World Health Organization and the UNFPA implemented a tetanus campaign in Kenya on investigation by the Catholic doctors of Kenya and some independent doctors in Kenya. It was discovered that these tetanus vaccines had what we call a beta-HCG hormone in them. And this affected the pregnancies of these women and created sterilization. If you do your research, in India, some years back, more than 24,000 girls were vaccinated with HPV.
To be honest, the moment that finance bill was rejected by William Ruto, there were some information that circulated that the Kenya Kwanza people were saying that time will come when the people of Kenya will vindicate these people. Ni kama vile story ya Yesu. Wajua Yesu alikuwa analaumiwa, lakini baadaye wakati washamsulubisha wakaanza kuregret, kumbe alikuwa ni mwana wa Mungu. So this story here, these people, there's a time someone tried to link what Kenya Kwanza is going through to the story of Yesu. But one thing that they forgot is during Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, they did the same to Uhuru Kenyatta. They piled pressure, peddled a lot of falsehoods until Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta alionekana kwamba yeye ndiye aongee ukweli. Akaonekana kwamba yeye ndiye amegandamiza nchi. Uhuru Kenyatta. So back then Uhuru never looked at himself as kama Mungu, kama vile Yesu alipolaumiwa baadaye watu wakamsifu. Hakujiona kama hivyo. Sasa hawa wanajiona kama wako hiyo league, kwamba hao ni kama vile Yesu alilaumiwa mwishowe wakamsifu. So if this story of a phone call, a leaked phone call between Ruto and the IMF chief Cristalina is true, because I believe it's true, then it can only point to one thing. Hii finance bill ilikuwa ni ya kuplease IMF. Ama tuseme kwamba hii budget, manake ilisemekana mahali kwamba IMF ni kama they played a huge role in that budget making process. Someone said kitu kama hiyo. So if that is the case, if what you are seeing or reading online now is true, kwamba Ruto called the IMF boss Cristalina, then they talked, and one of the things they talked about the finance bill and the budget making. One of the reasons why I think William Ruto could have made that call is because of this 1 trillion loan that he said they have to take to be able to sustain that budget. You see, that budget has issues that needs to be addressed. It's not even the finance bill only. That budget has talked about more funds to the First Lady's office, more funds to the Second Lady's office, more funds to the Deputy President's office, more funds to the State House. So this budget has indicated all that. So the problem is not even that finance bill only. The problem is now this budget. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to raise my case there. But what do you think about this latest revelation about RUTO-IMF call? Do you now get the sense that maybe IMF is involved? And you've heard about the complaints in other countries, whereby it say that when IMF praises a country, hiyo nchi huwa ushuru unapanda maradufu. Is that the case? Just go below the comment section and offer a reaction regarding that part of Ruto and IMF call. So perhaps if you watch this video and not subscribe, take 1 second and subscribe, like this video. Until you catch up again, stay safe and stay blessed.